Hey everybody, the Long Shot Signatures here. This is episode 89 of my 2024 TTM returns, and we are ending the week with 6 successes, and all of them are football. So we've got 4 former NFL players and 2 current college football coaches. We're going to start off with a trio of trading cards that were signed. This is a 3 of 3 success that came back in 61 days from former NFL running back Antoine Smith. Smith played for, I think, 4 teams in his career: the Bills, the Patriots, the Titans, and I don't remember who the last one was. But he was a solid contributor on the ground, won 2 Super Bowls with the Patriots in the early 2000s. Probably could have won a third if he had stuck around a little bit longer. But overall, very solid player, like I said. Over 6,000 rushing yards, 50-plus rushing touchdowns. Not as big of a contributor in the passing game, but he could catch some passes if absolutely needed. So very cool to get that one back from a 2-time Super Bowl champion. Then we have a former kicker who on Pro Football Reference is listed as a 2-time Super Bowl champion, but from everything else I can find, I think he just won 1. But still, pretty decent kicker back in the day. This is a 2 of 2 success in 9 days from Lynn Elliott. Elliott started off his career with the Dallas Cowboys, and I think he set the team record for most points by a rookie in a season. And then started off the next season just missing a bunch of kicks, so he was let go, didn't play for anyone else. Got picked up by the Chiefs and was doing really, really well up until the end of the season and into the postseason, where he had a stretch of just missing a whole bunch of kicks, including 3 in a postseason game where they lost 10-7. Played one more year with them, kind of rebounded, and I guess he declined either an option or a contract offer, despite being one of the most accurate kickers in Chiefs history. Maybe not in NFL history at the time, but he was still looking like a pretty solid kicker. Went to the Vikings, got cut in training camp, and he never played again. So a very fast burnout with the career, but he had 3 seasons of 100 or more points and had a Super Bowl ring his rookie year. So more than I've ever accomplished in the NFL. So very cool to get that. Then we have a former Lions defensive tackle here. This is a 2 of 2 success in 9 days from Larry Hand. He's got to be top 5 in all-time sacks for the Detroit Lions, where he spent his entire career. It's unofficial because he played back when they weren't tracking that stat, but according to Pro Football Reference, I believe he had 62.5 sacks. Was also able to nab a few interceptions. In some years, you could argue that he could have been a Pro Bowler, excuse me. That he could have been a Pro Bowler, but never received any of those nods. But regardless, very, very good player for the Detroit Lions. Then the last former pro player that we have is from an offensive guard who started off his career on the defensive line. This is a 1 of 1 success in 9 days from Len St. Jean, or St. John. I'm not 100% sure how it's supposed to be pronounced. But been meaning to get him for a long time, and for whatever reason, I just been putting it off. But he's over 80 years old now, so I figured I would finally get some photos printed off. The other photo, something got messed up with the file, so it was not very clear, so I only sent the one, but very quickly got it back. He started off his career, like I said, as a defensive lineman. May have played on the offensive line too. I'm not 100% sure, but he did register unofficially 5 sacks in his first 2 seasons, and then was almost exclusively offensive line after that. Did earn a Pro Bowl nod, so that adds to the Pro Bowl collection. Then we have 2 college football coaches. First one is the active one. It's a 2 of 2 success in 9 days from Division II East Stroudsburg's Jimmy Terwilliger. He took over as head coach after the longtime coach, Dennis Dowds, finally retired. I don't know if he meets the 600 win percentage to make it into the Hall of Fame, but Dowds, who I do have an autograph of, had over 200 wins, which is very difficult to do. And Jimmy was one of his quarterbacks, and later came back to coach various aspects of the offense. And Dowds retired immediately after a game, actually on the field technically, during a very rough final season for him. And Terwilliger was named the interim coach for the last 2 games. They went 1-1 in that, and they decided to remove the interim tag. And he's helped guide the team back to relevance after several mediocre seasons. I believe last year they made it back to the Division II playoffs. So be exciting to see what he can do going forward after having several years to rebuild the program. And then this last one is one that I've been meaning to write to this guy as well for a long time, but I never really thought about it until recently because I saw the video again. It's a great just compilation of this guy. He had some of the best sound bites, some of the best quotes, just all around a really funny guy, and also a pretty good coach back in the day. But this is a 2 of 2 success in 10 days from former Montana Tech head coach Bob Green. If you don't know who I'm talking about already, you have to go and watch the video. But Bob Green was a longtime head coach for Montana Tech, over 100 wins there. I think he coached for 24 seasons. But this man was just is extremely funny, just with the stuff that he says. It's really out there. But when anytime they would do an interview, you would get some sort of soundbite, like talking about how his players were on it that day, like a hobo on a ham sandwich, or what was another one? Something about, mixed feelings and saying it's like watching your mother-in-law drive off a cliff in the Cadillac. You got mixed feelings about it. All kinds of quotes. And the way he says it, I think there was one about, like, struggling to understand things, and he's like, it reminds me of 3rd grade, the best 2 years of my life. So just a really, really funny guy, but also an outstanding coach in the NAIA, 24 seasons. I think they made it to 1 championship game. They didn't win it that year, but as a 7-5 team, to make it all the way to the championship game says a lot about a coach. So took a little bit of research, but very happy to add him to the collection. And again, if you haven't watched the video of his sound bites, you need to go do that. But that is it for this one. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. It helps me out a lot. Best luck with your guys' collecting. Take care.